Gravitas fountain pens. What you need to know in order to take them apart and put them back together safe, it will be in this video. As always, I'm your host Aaron from Pen Venture. Welcome back to the channel. It is time to indulge into in-depth view on everything that you need to know in order to care for your Gravitas fountain pens. I have received a ton of emails, and although I can respond to each of them, I am the type of person that when I see a void of knowledge in regards of some aspects in our fountain pen community, I do a video and I showcase every single detail of my experience with you all in order to just simply resolve those issues. Before proceeding, I know that so many of you that are watching right now are not subscribed. Consider subscribing. This way we can make our content to reach out to many more of our fountain pen community. And if you find my videos useful, please give it a thumbs up, share my content with all of your friends that have Gravitas fountain pens and they just want to learn how to maintain them, how to break them apart and put them back together safely. And pretty much we're going to be going each Gravitas model. We're going to start with the QUARK, the smallest one, and we are going to go all the way up to the VAC. I'm going to try on this video to put time stamps so you can just go about and just skip towards the model that you own. And if you want to know how to do every single aspect in regards of what you can do to maintain, clean, take apart, put back together your fountain pen, your Gravitas fountain pen, you're going to be finding these procedures in this video. So let's begin with the QUARK, which is the smallest pen in the Gravitas lineup. It's a beautiful fountain pen, very versatile, very useful. It's a pocket rocket. It's something that I love to carry. I own myself one of this QUARK models, and this is the zirconium one. This is my personal fountain pen. This is inked, so this is why I picked up the titanium one from our inventory in order to demonstrate how to remove the nib, what you expect, put everything back together, and how to do it. So first of all, let's uncap the fountain pen. We have a metal section, the nib. The nib sits into a nib unit together with the feeder, with everything. And for most of you that email me, Emmy, I have been trying to remove the nib unit of my QUARK and it's stuck. Well, it's not stuck. It's pretty tight, and this is due to the fact that this way it's going to prevent leakage. But I'm going to teach you how to remove that nib unit safely. We have an O-ring right here. The purpose of this O-ring is to keep your cap quite tight and prevent it from unscrewing from the whole pan. Also helps with the overall way that the nib sits airtight in the cap. Let's open it up, and right here we have another O-ring. This O-ring will keep the barrel of the fountain pen, this small part, attached to the section. Also, it can be useful when you try to eyedropper convert this fountain pen. Keep in mind, when you eyedropper this fountain pen and many others from Gravitas, take into consideration that the eyedropping process, it's not something that's just like science. It's just like a fine art. It can work, it's possible, but sometimes the fountain pen will be having a few more bumps increased in regards of the ink flow. Sometimes it's going to run a little bit more dry. It's because of the fine tolerances in regards of the airtight seals of the fountain pen. If the air exchange, and by air exchange I mean if enough air comes from the nib into the barrel in order to just simply let the ink flow down, I personally don't eyedropper convert my QUARKs, my pocket fountain pens. I use the converter or a standard international cartridge from Diamine, which I have, something like this. So I use cartridges with my Gravitas fountain pens, and this way I don't have the risk of having any ink flow abnormalities, and also it's not going to leak, it's not going to be messy. But anyway, if you are just wanting to eyedropper convert your QUARK fountain pen, it can work, and this O-ring will help you. A little bit of silicone grease on the threads will be just simply doing you a favor in order to have airtight seal in order to prevent the ink from just simply getting on your fingers. Now, let's put everything aside and let's showcase how you would remove a very, very tight nib unit. And you can extract this nib, and you can also substitute it with a JOWO size 6 steel nib unit. And I'm going to be demonstrating this using a Leonardo nib unit. This Gravitas nib units come very, very tight from the manufacturer, from Gravitas, and you can try to unscrew them. Sometimes it's going to work, and I have here this rubber pad which I'm going to use in order to have plenty of grip. I'm going to try to grip the nib like this with my thumb over the nib like this, and I'm going to be trying to just simply go with each hand's opposite. Here you go. So it was not that tight after all. And you can remove this. Usually right here on the trash there will be some silicone grease that will keep that nib unit quite tight and also leak proof. But let's just say you were not successful with just simply gripping the nib and trying to extract it. How you go about this? Well, it's quite easy. You need to have something like this. And I'm pretty sure this is something that you can go at your local hardware store and you can purchase it. It's a hexagonal 5.5 head. And this is used on a screwdriver. I have it on something like this. And let's see how to proceed doing that operation. First of all, every single nib unit of Gravitas has the nib attached to it by being friction fit. So first of all, we need to remove the feeder and the nib all together. Just yank them or pull them apart, but be very careful doing this. Proceed with caution. Now you would grip like this and just simply pull in opposite directions. I've just inserted the barrel in order to have a better grip on the fountain pen, and just pull at opposite directions. And you would remove the nib and the feeder, and you can clean this. Have a toothbrush, just brush all of the ink residue. If you have an ultrasonic cleaner, you can drop the nib and the feeder in there and let it run a little bit, and it will just simply clean all of those ink channels. And now let's see how you would go about with the hexagonal head. As you may clearly see right here, we have down this edge right here, and we have two grooves where the nib will slide in. I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up, but I'm going to try to align one of the hexagonal lines with this edge right here. So I'm going to go like this and not insert it at an angle and not too deep. This is the way it should look. And now you would be just simply inserting the screwdriver, holding the QUARK by the section. Now you would start to untwist like this, and voila, we have removed the nib unit. Now when you just simply pull this hexagonal head out, don't wiggle it, just pull at opposite directions like this, and you pretty much have an intact nib unit, and this can go back into the fountain pen without any single problem. So let's try to do all of that. We're going to be inserting it like this. We're going to take the nib and the feeder. Before inserting the nib and the feeder, just make sure everything is aligned like this. Then you would grip everything like this. Align this line, the one on the bottom of the feeder, with the line of the nib unit, and just insert it back. Check to see if everything is correct. Now you would take the rubber pad, just screw in a little bit tight just to prevent the ink spillage and leakage. Check to see if the line aligns with the middle of the feeder, the slit of the nib, and pretty much this is how you would take apart a stock nib unit from a QUARK fountain pen. Now I think this is it with the QUARK. Let's move forward with the pocket fountain pen, and I have here for demonstration purposes a pocket Skittles. This is the fountain pen. It's working on the basic principle of the QUARK as well, but we should demonstrate on it as well. We have this O-ring right here. This will keep the cap from just simply untwisting inside your pocket. We have the barrel of the fountain pen, again with a bit of a larger O-ring right here on the strads. This can be used in order to eyedropper convert this fountain pen, just like I pointed out on the QUARK. Eyedropping is an art. It can work, but to what degree? Sometimes it will be having a little bit more ink flow. Sometimes it's going to be running dry. I don't know. This is just like an experiment that you can do at your home. Me personally, I use this converter, although it's quite small. Also, there is the standard international cartridge that you can use. We have them available on our website. It's ink from Diamine. It's very safe, very easy to clean, and mass free, most important. Before proceeding towards removing the nib, like in the case of the QUARK, you can try to untwist it with using the rubber pad, and as you can clearly see, this is quite tight. We're not going to force this nib unit out, just not bending in the process the nib and just ruining everything. Let's remove it using the hexagonal head and the screwdriver. Get a grip on the nib and the feeder and pull them in opposite directions like so. We are going to insert this hexagonal 5.5 tool inside there, aligning the line with the bottom of the nib unit like this. And now we're gonna take the screwdriver, hold the fountain pen by the section, untwist everything, and just pull out the housing of the nib unit and everything that's inside. Just like I told you, when removing, don't wiggle, just pull in opposite directions, and like this, everything will remain undamaged in order to be used when you want to put it back. What I didn't show you at the QUARK is the fact that you can take a Leonardo nib unit with a JoWo size 6 steel nib, any single other JoWo size 6 steel nib that comes with the JoWo feeder and the JoWo housing. You can put it back in a QUARK fountain pen without any single mod, any single modification, nothing whatsoever. It's going to go in without any single problem. So let's put everything back together. Where have I put that nib collar? I'm going to demonstrate how you would insert the nib inside the collar or inside the housing outside of the fountain pen this time. So again, you would just simply align the feeder with the nib, and once you struck the normal position and everything, you would be just simply inserting everything while keeping consideration that the nib slides into these grooves right here. You would have a specific way that the nib is going to insert, and also you can check if the nib is inserted correctly because it has to sit inside those grooves right here. Now let's put back the nib unit into the fountain pen, and we're going to be just simply screwing in the whole nib unit back. Check the alignment, and pretty much that's kind of it in regards of the pocket fountain pen. We do also have two models which are a little bit more bigger. This is the Entry and this is the SENTRY. Both of them have the same basic principle, the same nib unit, the same kind of just simply going about removing and inserting back the nib. So I'm not going to demonstrate based on the fact that I've showed you for the QUARK and also the pocket version. So everything that you've seen at the pocket version and QUARK of the Gravitas fountain pens lineup, you can apply on the Entry and the SENTRY, just to not make this video too long. And last but not least, we're going to be concentrating on the ultimate vac, because on this fountain pen it's a little bit more different, and I want to show you how you would be going about just simply removing any single part of this fountain pen, put it back together, clean it, grease it, how to remove the nib and everything else. So let's zoom out a little bit and let me show you the overall look of this fountain pen versus the other models which are made out of metal. This is made in Ultim, so it's a little bit more different as a model from Gravitas, and it's very easy to work with such a fountain pen. It's very easy to maintain, clean, take apart, but it's very well that you have content like this that can show you what you expect at each individual step. Now let's remove the nib. Also, you can do it with the hexagonal head, but on this fountain pens it's not that super tight. Yet again, it's not loose. You can do it using the pinch and the hands, and have a look at this. So untwisting, you can remove the nib unit together with the feeder, with everything, and this is a fountain pen that I've just simply cleaned like a few moments ago, so it's still having water on it. Let's zoom in and let's showcase the particular aspects of this nib unit, because those are a little bit more different than the others. I'm gonna use this toothpick just to point out. Right here we have an O-ring, and this is to prevent the ink from getting further than this point inside the section right here. When you insert the fountain pen in ink, this O-ring right here will keep that ink from the ink bottle getting inside the section. Moving further, we have this right here, which is again the seal, which is made out of rubber right here on top of the nib unit. This is done in order to prevent the ink from getting from this part of the chamber inside the section right here. So we have the nib unit, which is sealed on both ends. There is no ink coming down from the barrel into the section, and from the bottle when you ink the fountain pen, it's one of those fountain pens that simply shows that there is thought behind the design of the fountain pen in order to have every single OCD nerd just like me not just simply taking the fountain pen apart and always cleaning the inside of the section because of the ink that gets in there. Let's put back the nib unit. Before doing that, use a Q-tip, remove some of the ink that's on the rim of the section, and let's insert the nib unit back into the section, and then take a little bit of this rubber pads that offer a little bit better of a grip, and let's tie everything back together as it should. Keep in mind, if you want to substitute it with the Leonardo Jowo nib unit, you can just simply take apart those two O-rings on the Gravitas nib unit, and you can put them on the Jowo nib unit, and you can have pretty much the same effect of not having ink from the barrel coming down into the section, and also ink from the bottle when you ink the fountain pen coming up. There is another point where this Gravitas fountain pen is going to be opening up, and it's right here at this section. So you hold the barrel, you hold the section, untwist in opposite directions, and you can remove the section altogether. Right here you can put some silicone grease if you want to just simply have a better seal and have the threads moving a little bit more smoother. Right here is another O-ring. This can have a little bit of grease on it as well, but not too much, just on the tip of a toothpick. And it's a very convenient way to clean this fountain pen. So if you have a bulb syringe, you can insert it right here, you can flush it with water, you can put this in an ultrasonic cleaner, and you can make the fountain pen clean very easy. What we are left with is the barrel with the piston assembly. And I've heard so many asking, Emmy, how can I just simply take apart this barrel mechanism and remove the piston head? Well, it's going to be tricky, not impossible. First of all, I've tried it like this, using this and only having a better grip on this, and it's not going to work. So you need something to grip this part of metal right here, which has these two latches. You may be just simply going forward and having a TWSBI key and using it to remove this. The TWSBI key, it's a little bit larger, so there is some play. I'm going to try to see if I can capture this. So this play right here is not going to be beneficial towards you removing this piston end with the TWSBI key, because you can damage those threads right here due to the play. So the TWSBI key, it's not going to fit perfect. And combine this with a little bit of a tight threaded back assembly, you can damage those threads very, very easy. And keep in mind that you would have no other way how to just simply substitute those back assembly thread. So I will be very careful. What I've done, and you can do at home, try to find pliers. This is a tool that I have at my disposal. This is for fountain pens. This is something that I bought from a website in England, and this is meant in order to grip certain parts of fountain pens that are round, and just simply squeeze everything and have a better grip on when you try to remove it. But you can do it also with normal pliers that you can buy at your local hardware store, those like scissor like pliers. And you can use also something made out of rubber in order not to damage this part. So you would put it like this, take some pliers, just simply pinch like this and untwist like this. I'm going to demonstrate using my own pliers, and I'm going to try to see if I can grip this part right here. Yep, and now untwist the barrel and keep this part right here. I would be just taking something grippy, untwist completely, remove, and this is the piston head and the piston assembly and everything else. As usual, let's clean everything using a Q-tip, and I'm going to try to do this while showing you the overall look and everything, how it's going to go. I'm going to try to clean this part right here. This is the piston head. This piston head has a specific way. You would see that there is a larger diameter. This will be always facing down, and the smaller diameter, this will be always facing up. This is the smaller diameter, and this is the larger diameter. Always the larger diameter is going to face the nib. So I'm going to put it back together like this. Since we opened the fountain pen, let's just make sure that everything is greased. Have a little bit of silicone grease put on this right here. Take your fingers and just simply rub that in on any single part of this rubber head. Now I'm going to be just simply trying to coat this rod also with a little bit of silicone grease and this two small O-rings right here. Okay, this is very, very little amount of silicone grease. If you put more, it can leave the surplus inside the barrel and you would see it. Now, let's put everything back together. Let's insert the piston back like this. I will be coming down with the assembly like this. Now I'm going to try to take something with a little bit of a grip, something made out of rubber, and just simply screw in this part until it starts to slip. When it starts to slip, you would be taking something like your pliers at home, something with a little bit of a grip, but also not try to squeeze that much in order to just simply damage those threads. You have certain latches right here on the lateral part which you can grip the pliers on and not damage the overall threads. Don't squeeze too much. Just have something made out of rubber that's going to just simply prevent the damage to occur on the threads. And now let's test out. It's working smooth. Something that you can also do is take a little bit of silicone grease and put it right here as well. While the piston is all the way up, this will make this glide even more easy. This is everything that you need to know in regards of your Gravitas Ultimate Vac fountain pen, how to take it apart, how to clean it. This is the guide that you can follow in order to clean and maintain your Gravitas fountain pens regardless of the model. This is some good coffee, and I just love coffee. I'm a coffee nerd. If you find my videos useful, like this guide, this entire guide, don't forget to give this a big thumbs up. This will help me a lot with the YouTube algorithm and everything else. If you have questions, use the comment section down below. I've been receiving a lot of emails in regards of Gravitas fountain pens, and we just did a video. This is it. You can use this in order to just simply remove the nibs, check everything, where to grease, how to grip, how to expect things to just go back into place, or how to remove them. Let me know your suggestions, your opinions. If you have any suggestions for future videos or anything, use the comment section down below. Let me know. Thank you very much for spending this time with me on the Penvetri YouTube channel. If you're looking for an next writing instrument, including Gravitas, you can scroll down. You'll find the details for our website, our social media accounts, phone number, email, anything and everything that you may need in order to get in contact with me, and I will be helping you out with that specific purchase. Don't forget to subscribe to the Penvetri YouTube channel. If you're not subscribed, it's very easy. Just click there, turn the notification bell on, and you will be notified whenever we have new content. Speaking about content, if you want to continue watching our videos, I'm gonna leave you this right here. You can click and enjoy. As always, I'm your host from Penvetri. I look forward to seeing you next video. Take care, stay safe, bye bye.